folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again. Welcome back to another NASCAR Diecast review, and yes, it is the Austin Cindric rookie Daytona 500 race to win Ford Mustang. Oh, this is going to be a good one. So without further ado, get your popcorn, and let's go and dive into it. Alrighty, folks, right out of the good old box, and goodness, this thing is absolutely caked in confetti. Oh my goodness. I mean, look at this. When's the last time you've seen a 164 have this much confetti? This is freaking awesome, guys. So let's go and dive into it. Of course, pick this one up over there at Circle B Diecast. You can too if it's still in stock. I believe it is, along with the other race to wins like the Kyle Larson, Fontana, Chase Briscoe, Phoenix, and all the Chase Elliott wins whenever they come available. You can pick them up at Circle B Diecast. You could save on shipping with the promo code DIECASTbuffet for any orders $30 or more. So Austin Cindric made his Cup Series rookie season debut. He did run some races in 2021, right? He ran really good. But in 2022, that was his full, first full season. And he pretty much had a great 2 weeks and did nothing else, pretty much. He won the Daytona 500, went next week, qualified on pole at Fontana. I mean, it was on top of the world, and then he did nothing. Hey man, NASCAR is probably the most humbling sport out of all of them because you can literally win the Daytona 500 and next week just crash out for, whatever reason. It's got Cindric right there, Discount Tire, tires.com. The whole hood logo is a little bit off-centered. I don't think he had any damage that would shift it over, so I'm assuming that's a decal issue. I got the Ford logo right there. Get the number 2. You have the confetti right there across the splitter. You have the Sunoco decal there, along with the rookie decal as well. There's a nice feint of kind of a dirt and grime from the super speedway racing there. Really good action at Daytona. Watching that first next-gen Daytona race, pretty cool stuff, guys. Especially when you compare the dual races and how tame and boring they were compared to the Daytona 500. It was definitely a nice treat. There was so many crashes in that event, so many lead changes. I mean, even Harrison Burton went for a ride. He flipped over, which was crazy. It felt like an old school Winston Cup Daytona 500. It really did. It's got Austin Cindric right here, a little bit covered up. I mean, the whole side of this car completely covered in confetti and a little bit of a Larry McNugget. So you know how, generally when the car wins the Daytona 500, they park it in what they call Daytona USA, which I believe is like a museum or a tour place at the track. Well, anyways, with the next-gen car with the part shortage, they changed that. So the actual winning car, they pretty much take 1,000 photos probably of it, laser scan it, and then they take this car, they clean it up, and they give it back to, Team Penske. Well, anyways, they recreate all the confetti and everything on the car, probably digitally. They probably just, copy and paste it or whatnot. And essentially rewrap a Ford Mustang, probably a test car or a show car, and then they put it on display at Daytona USA. So unfortunately, it's not the true victory lane exact car anymore. They do give it back to the teams, which, if you ask me, I think that's stupid. I feel like if you win the Daytona 500 in that car, it should forever be retired. Like the chassis, the car, whatever it is, take the engine out, that's fine. But the car itself should be retired because it is a huge piece of history. It reminds me back, sometimes when a team would win the Indy 500, and then they would take that same car and bring it to a track like Pocono, and then they would crash it. So you just won that year's Indy 500, and then you destroy the car to bits at Pocono, and there's nothing left of it. It's so stupid. I feel like if you win the marquee event, that car should be completely outlawed, and you should only be able to display it. It's got Goodyear, Cup Series, Auto Trader, Discount Tire, Freightliner, Menards. I mean, this thing is just absolutely covered in confetti, guys. Was this the first Cup win for Discount Tire? I can't remember if Brad Keselowski won a Cup race with Discount Tire. I don't think he did. You go over here to the back of the car, you get the Discount Tire logo once again. It should say, "Let's get you taken care of." You got, again, that super speedway grime. You got a little bit of some damage right here. Probably doing a whole bunch of blocking. And, hey, man, some people might say that his move on Ryan Blaney at the end of the race was a little bit aggressive. It's the Daytona 500, man. You got to do what you got to do. I don't care if it's a teammate. I don't care who it is. You got to do what you got to do, man. I think Cindric did nothing wrong. And he went for it. He's got the number 2 right there. Go to the right side of the car, and it's completely different on the right side. I mean, there's hardly any confetti, maybe besides the side panel there, but it's very clean for a race to win car. Which, you know, if they, the general consensus is if your right side is tore up, you're racing. But if your left side's tore up, you're just in the way because, you know, someone's moving you up the racetrack. So, who knows? You go over here to the roof of the car. Once again, more confetti. You can see a little bit of a gap right here. Probably had like a bottle or something in victory lane. You know, the cardboard cutouts, and they blast the car with confetti. Such a cool thing. You got Snap-on right there. Cindric, and, well, there's nothing on the deck lid, so you might as well pile on the confetti. Now, this is something so cool I'm glad they did. Is they actually put the confetti on the spoiler. That is so freaking cool. They did this many years ago on the COT diecast in 2007. You might not remember this, but I think it was the Watkins Glen Tony Stewart. They actually had confetti on the spoiler. Then it was a wing, but they actually did that. I can't remember the last time I seen that on a 1/64 scale diecast. We know they put the little pop rivet design, but generally they just leave that blank from what I've seen. I wish they would do it on the windows. I don't see why they can't. They clearly stamped the, you know, the Cindric and the Ford and all that stuff. Put the confetti on the windows, guys. They should do it. I mean, what I would do, honestly, I would just make the Race to Win 1/64s the same price as the Chrome number diecast, and then take that extra whatever that, you know, the consumer buys it, and include the stamped windows. Put the confetti on all the windows, add that detail, and I guarantee you people would still buy it. They'd be like, okay, that's a justifiable cost. That's what they should do. Will they do it? Probably never, but that's besides the point. But absolutely, man. What a cool looking diecast here. And first ever career win for, well, he won the Xfinity Championship. He almost went back-to-back Xfinity Championships, but he lost it to Daniel Hemrick. But what a cool looking diecast here, guys. Really, really cool looking stuff. And what's funny is that I actually predicted that win. I don't take credit for it. Something told me to pick Austin Cindric that day. I was thinking about who am I going to pick for the 500? Who am I going to pick? I don't know why, but something told me to pick Austin Cindric. I don't take credit for it. It's like God told me to. And sure enough, he freaking won the Daytona 500. First start in the 2 car, replacing Brad Keselowski. Something Keselowski still has not done as the time of this video is win the Great American Race. It was crazy. I could not believe it that that was the second time I picked the 500 winner. I don't take credit for it, though. Back in 2015, I picked Logano to win the 500. Unfortunately, he did. In 2014, I was going to pick Dale Jr. I literally was going to pick Dale Jr. In the last minute, I picked Denny Hamlin. Hamlin finished second, and Dale Jr. won the Daytona 500. So yeah, sometimes, you know, sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball. But hey, man, this is an awesome diecast. So thank you all again for watching. If you can, please give it a huge thumbs up. Leave your thoughts down below, what you think about this car. I love the confetti on it, man. I know not everyone's an Austin Cindric fan, but just the pure cosmetic look of this diecast is so worth having. I miss when the cars would park in the victory lane and just the confetti's everywhere. Let's get that at every racetrack. I don't care where the track is. We need to make sure the victory lane celebrations are just insane. That's what it needs to be. So that's all for now, guys. Thank you all again for watching. Have a great one. Diecastbuffet. Signing off.